the court could, in fact, or to give him enhanced visitation, give him the remainder of the summer, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But you're missing it. I'm still stressing it. This is not about you. It's not about Mr. Brown. It's about the girls.
I know, and that's my whole point. It's because...
Excuse me, no. If it was about the girls, then you would have been in the court earlier. As opposed to filing the matter with the Department of Social Services, you would have been in court asking the court to modify or suspend visitation.
I didn't know that was what I should do.
Wait. The first thing you told me today was you wanted me to suspend visitation.
Yeah, but I didn't know that I was supposed to go through some other medium.
Well, this is not the foul. This is asking for protection. That's why I kept asking, and I heard it about the reading. That's why I kept asking, are you asking that I suspend visitation? You say yes. Mm-hmm. That's what this is all about. But this is not. This is to get protection.
Right.
Mm-hmm. You want to suspend visitation. You've had lawyers before, ma'am.
Yes, I have.
I know. Now, the bad part about it, not only they told the girl subjected to what's going on in and out around the house. I don't know too many lawyers who take on these kinds of cases, especially domestic violence cases, just because they feel good and they want to help somebody. I used to do it every once in a while for a family friend or somebody who wanted to help and there was an emergency. Mm-hmm. Saying it to say the money that's been spent on this could have gone to the girls. Mm-hmm. Stand it.
Which would bring me to my point, Your Honor, if I may interrupt for just a moment. This is going to continue.
I know.
And the only way it's going to stop is if Mrs. Sanchez feels some sting for the action. She'll file another DV action,
okay,
and she'll file another, claim with the Department of Social Services, because that's how she operates.
Okay.
And she needs to stop. And this court has the power to give her an incentive to stop. And in light of what has been presented to the court, and I have evidence that I could also present to the court regarding the exact position of the car and presence of the police and all the rest of it, but I think it's pretty clear from the record, and Mrs. Sanchez was kind enough to point out that Mr. Brown said absolutely nothing at this event.
Well, that's why I was waiting to hear a threatening remark. I was waiting to see.
It wasn't a remark, Your Honor.
I was waiting to see the indication of a threatening gesture. Okay. File whatever you may want to file.
Your Honor, I'm going to ask the court right now to grant a petition for attorney's fees because this is a clear abuse of Rule 311. It's frivolous. It's filed in
311, 341.
1341, excuse me, I'm sorry. This is a picture at the scene, and I can have Mr. Brown testify about it. Mr. Brown has summoned the police to come before...
Are we still taking testimony, Your Honor?
No, actually he's not on his motion for legal fees.
Okay.
That's the position of Mr. Brown's car on June 30th, 2006, and that's the police car, and it's the police that Mr. Brown has summoned to be there before he ever went over there, because he anticipated something like this was going to happen. That's why Mr. Brown on that other occasion had to take a video camera with him. Now,
it may be appropriate but to make the record file the appropriate pleading.
Your Honor, I can't afford to pay attorney's fees.
Excuse me?
That's why I don't have an attorney.
We would file a petition for attorney's fees before Your Honor on this matter.
Yes. Excuse me, ma'am.
I can't afford to pay attorney's fees. That's why I don't have an attorney.
That's not what he's... Okay, he's saying, let's assume that you do not have an attorney. You did not have an attorney here.
Yes.
But Mr. Brown had to get a lawyer.
He didn't. I didn't.
Mr. Brown is not the one who filed it. Mr. Brown had to get a lawyer. He could not have gotten a lawyer and come in and say, I consent to the entry of protective order. Or he could not have gotten a lawyer and the court could have made a finding against him. But he didn't get. He got a lawyer. The question is, and I indicated I'm not going to address it today, file the appropriate document pleading so they could be in fact be served on you and substantiated with whatever history that you may have, and attach whatever may have occurred in the past as to why you believe legal fees should be justified.
Thank you.
Okay, and then now you say you may not be able to afford a lawyer.
I can't afford a lawyer. That's why I'm here. Mr. Brown owes me about $15,000 in back child support.
Oh, objection. That is absolute nonsense.
It's not nonsense, Your Honor. I have sent him records all the way from 2003.
But you're missing it. Let's assume that's the case. That's not what this case is about.
I understand that. I'm just pointing that out to you.
Let's assume that's the case. The case is, what I'm hearing is, why should he have to pay legal fees in a domestic violence case when nothing happened? That's what he's saying. And more direct, he's saying that there have been three others.
Three others.
Three other domestic violence petitions. They have been dismissed. There have been three investigations by the Child Protective Services, which has been ruled out. And at least in this domestic violence case, the argument is, if something does not happen, to say, look here, you can continue to file these over. And I understand, what's the last one? What's the last domestic violence case that I asked?
November.
2000.
I think I asked, what was the basis of it? Well,
She claimed that Mr. Brown had assaulted the minor child. So at that hearing, it was a full hearing before Judge Nichols, the minor child was put on to testify. And when asked, this is an 8-year-old we're talking about. This is the older of the two children. Mrs. Sanchez insisted on putting the child on
No, I
testify.
didn't.
And so when the 8-year-old testified, she was asked on cross-examination, did your mommy promise you anything if you did a good job testifying here today? She said, yeah, mommy said I could have a friend over. Judge Nichols was unimpressed and dismissed the case. We didn't ask for an award of attorney's fees at the time because we hoped, in light of this simply repulsive behavior, that would be the end of it. We wouldn't deal with this again. So Mr. Brown resumed his visitation with his children until December, when he was once again notified by Child Protective Services that he was under investigation for some form of alleged abuse, which has chilled his ability.
was that the second one or whatever?
That was the third one. The second one was because he went into his house to get a stop.
I thought that was a DV case.
That was a DV case, right? Correct.
Okay.
The last CPS investigation is the one I'm just talking about. There
Okay.
were two before that.
That concluded the letter May 26 or whatever, 2006?
Yes.
Okay.
I have copies of the letters Mr. Brown received.
But I trust that when you file your pleadings, you would attach these matters to them.
I would. I may have given you both my copies.
Yeah.
This is October 2004. This is Montgomery County. The point that I was making, Your Honor, in my cross-examination of Mrs. Sanchez, which I could put Mr. Brown on the stand to corroborate, is every time there's a scheduled event in this case or something happens that she doesn't like, it's a CPS investigation and a DV action file.
Okay. Those are the kinds of things you need to put in whatever petition you may file.
I would.
Mr. Bell.
Thank you.
Mr. Bell, please go to Ms. Sanchez. You're free to go.
Thank you.
Quite welcome.